Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Asian Lighting Forum organized by Hong Kong Trade Development Council and co-organized by the Hong Kong Electronics and Technologies Association and the Hong Kong Institution of Engineers Electronics Division on the occasion of the HKTDC Summer Sourcing Weeks Go Online. The forum will be conducted in English. The version in Mandarin will be soon uploaded to our official fair website. 请注意，这个研讨会将以英语演讲，以普通话统顺传译的版本将会在稍后上载至展会的网页。The Asian Lighting Forum aims to keep industry players abreast of the momentum shaping the landscapes of the fast-changing lighting industry. This year's theme is Shaping the Future of Lights. You will be able to take home the most updated information on the smart lighting and design applications, as well as the latest technology advancement. Without further ado, let's welcome our first speaker, Mr. Vincent Chow, Head of Marketing, CLP Innovation Enterprise, to deliver his presentation on Lighting Beyond Lighting.
Good afternoon. Welcome to join my session, Lighting Beyond Lighting. It is my honor to be one of the speakers in Lighting Fair 2020. It is not the first time I be a speaker in Lighting Fair, but it is the first time I go virtual. So thanks again for joining my session. Before we go into our topic, Lighting Beyond Lighting, let me tell you who actually is Smart Energy Connect. Who are we and what we do? Of course, a short and nice video is much better than 1,000 words from me. So let me play you a video and tell you who we are.
As one of the world's busiest places with an abundance of skyscrapers, there is no doubt that Hong Kong requires high amounts of energy to sustain the city. With over 40,000 buildings, together they consume 90% of the electricity. Building owners, offices and campuses alike have tremendous room for energy efficiency enhancement. But very often, they face difficulties in finding the right solutions. To help with cost control, energy efficiency and environmental impact, CLP's Smart Energy Connect, or SEC for short, leverages cutting-edge technologies to offer a wide range of innovative energy solutions, empowering various industries, including schools and offices, in making smarter and greener energy choices.
隨住有新校舍嘅發展啦，想將呢間新建成嘅學校咧能夠更加現代化啦，更加有一個綠色嘅元素擺喺學校裏邊，做一個又為環保啦、為節能啦，同埋一個好教育嘅地方。SEC 其實個好處咧就係佢一個有系統嘅一個計劃啦，就令到我哋可以將佢哋環保節能能夠好淺易地帶翻喺小學嘅課室裏邊。咁以及咧，佢哋有啲課程咧可以教到小朋友。咁我哋一拍即合咧，就覺得合作非常之愉快啦。SEC 其實都幫咗我哋好多，我哋喺度住嘅老友記咧，佢哋全部都係視障長者。其實佢哋都想善用院舍裏面嘅資源，用慳房間，去適用需要用嘅電器。咁所以我哋都希望透過 SEC 呢啲嘅系統，我哋老友記咧識得點樣用院舍裏面咧所有呢啲嘅設施設備，而呢啲設施設備咧都係方便佢哋嘅。
Smart Energy Connect is an end-to-end service where businesses can find optimal solutions that help achieve their sustainability goals. Our innovations harness the Internet of Things to automate data collection and processing, generating actionable insights for facility owners to build sustainable spaces, reducing carbon footprints. As businesses drive forward their visions for the future, SEC will continue supporting their growth with innovative energy solutions. At SEC, we innovate for sustainable businesses.
Okay, so you can see in the video, basically, Smart Energy Connect is powered by CLP, one of the innovations commercial service that offered by CLP. What we do actually is we are a digital platform to link up a supplier who is working on the innovative energy management solution to the client in the market. So not go too deep into what we do, but you can see in the video, actually, buildings, and buildings consume around 90% of the electric consumption in Hong Kong. Within it, actually 16% of this is using on the HVAC system and also lighting control. So we see there is a lot of opportunity to on there that we could do help customers to drive their energy efficiency, help them to save costs, enhance their operation, and also reduce the carbon footprint. So why we are here to talk about smart lighting, as we are not a smart lighting supplier. So let's dive into it. Because of the LED development, technology development, and also the digitalization of the all around different market, the LED and digitalization enable lighting to do a lot of things that conventional lighting cannot achieve, like IoT, big data, new needs of lighting fixture design. There is longer lifetime. They bring us a lot of more opportunity. I guess 2 or 3 years back when I was a speaker in lighting fair, I also have a similar topic on lighting beyond lighting. And that time, we are talking about lighting can bring you whole dimension on how to do the indoor positioning, how to do the light find. But I'm sure that there is a lot of experts sharing how to become more human-centric, how the lighting could connect to the internet, provide data, these kind of things. So I'm not going to repeat or going to do that in this area, as frankly speaking, I'm not the expert in lighting, the latest technology at least. So to us, smart lighting is simple. Smart lighting basically is trying to achieve 2 ultimate targets. The first one is green building, to allow users to save their energy, as well as they could have the total control or total management of their lighting fixture. The other extreme is how we could use lighting, how we could continuously improve lighting to enhance humans to be more human-centric, to make the environment well-being, and also better condition or better environment for the customer health. So this is the 2 extremes for smart lighting. Not 2 extremes, sorry, 2 ultimate target. So I'm sure that a lot of experts have shared their opinion to be more energy efficiency, how easy to control, how to be more human-centric, how could LED bring more flexibility or possibility to life. But to us, smart lighting in IoT world or in digitalization is just a small part. Whenever we talk about that, okay, a system is going to connect to the internet, we are collecting data. What does that mean? That means that because of the usage of the application, we can have continuously data extract from the customer side, which allow us to do a lot of big data analysis to understand the customer behavior better in order to improve our service to them, or to get the customer feedback or customer behavior to enhance the R&D process in the coming generation of lighting products. But to us, it's just part of it. Actually, when you're talking about IoT in this smart city or within the building, there's includes a lot of different systems. Your building management system, your energy monitoring, your air quality, your occupancy sensing, a lot of EV charger, and you can name it, because everything is going to be IoT, everything is going to be online or digitalized. So more and more data will be appear. So is lighting alone, the data provided by lighting, enable you to have a holistic picture when you consider what is smart or what is comfortable to your customer? We have a question mark there. And there is lots of different experts or different suppliers in the market who is really good at several segments in the whole market portfolio. Some of them is really good at BMS, some of them is really good at energy management. That to them, none of those guys could have, most of them is really expert on their field, but they are not really an expert to help you to do an integrated or total solution for you. So here we see the opportunity there. Okay, on the other hand, so there is a lot of things that connected to internet. People may think that, okay, everything connected to internet, that means that life is much more easier for me, because I can do control, I can do monitoring, I can extract data through the online portal or apps. And the data can be somehow by some digital data expert to help me to do the data analytics and give me more valuable insight for my building or for my application. Yes and no. actually the data or the smart solution itself doesn't really necessarily to bring you comfortable. As I said, there is a lot of expert in different field. All the partners, all the supplier in the market, when they offer you a smart solution, no doubt they will come along with an apps or a web portal or whatever that enable you to use your internet or computer or your user interface to control their products. And the question is here, like what we have just showed, there is thousands of IoT products. And if all of them come along with software or portal to you, you will end up like this slide. So here I didn't really include all the application we have. We just list some of the application we have bring into our platform to the customer. And you can see that easily there is 10 or 11 or 20 different portal that come along with different products. So what we do, we not only bring in products in the market, we think that it is useful for our customer, but at the same time we test it. We verify whether it's suitable for the local market or domestic market, fulfill the regulation, really can solve the customer pain point. On the other hand, we also try to integrate in the software side, try to crack the hardware, try to make them talk together, try to collect all the data from the same data lake, and by there we can use a more holistic picture for all of the data we collect through different IoT devices. By then, we will have more complete or more systematic way to look at what actually is happening in the customer end, no longer just by piece of information. So SmartLink Concept bring in new innovation, and we do the integration. We help them to bring everything into one portal. Then people may think that, okay, so this is not something new. There is a lot of system integrator in the market who is doing that. Yes and no, because system integrator, normally they will cooperate with one or two suppliers to complete their solution. And what they do is just trying to integrate the software to make sure that the data matching, they can interact with each other, but they might not have the digital capability to help you to process the data. So there's something that the system integrator in the market might not be helpful. And sometimes because of they are agreed with several suppliers already, so they might offer you the solution, not the best fit for your solution, but what they have on hand or what they have the commercial benefit. So this is different because in CLP, our position is more neutral. When we bring in innovation, actually is the best in the market. We verify it and solve the customer pain point. So as I said, we not only find the hardware itself, we make them to talk to each other. We use different wireless technology or communication channel to gather all the data. And then we have the cloud computing capability. We have the data analytics capability. We can do the machine learning, AI, those kind of things to do the integration. And at the customer end, we also have one all-in-one dashboard for the customer. So no matter you are in the customer side or in the supplier side, you are more than welcome to contact us. Why I say this topic is because in the lighting fair, it's not because I want to have some exposure of my company. Okay, yes and no. But the point is that electricity supply is one of the how do I say, it's the ideal system or the best system to collect customer data from an indoor environment. Because whenever there's an indoor environment, you need electricity. And the next big thing is lighting. So the lighting basically gives the second best volume of data to us. So lighting is essential. So, but lighting alone, as I said, they might not give you the holistic picture for the whole system or the in all aspects. So connected lighting, no matter it's wireless or wired or IoT whatsoever, they could provide valuable data to us. But by it alone, it might not be sufficient. So in our point of view, system integration, data integration, this kind of operation is a must. And it will be a key for us to develop a smarter city or a smarter system at the end of the day. So that's why I said lighting beyond lighting. It's not what lighting can do. It's what lighting can give us asset to. And by that, how we could well use of those kind of data and information we collect to enable not only us, but also the supplier in the market to well use the data, to make well use of the ideal database, to continue improve their products and solution. And to us, we are working together, leveraging their smart solution, which is based on the customer behavior, the demands of the market, and we can utilize those solutions to and achieve both energy efficiency, enhance customer operation, and at the end of the day, we can reduce carbon footprint in Hong Kong, which is really critical for us. So why CLP Smart Energy Connect? It's because next year, in 2021, it will be the 120th anniversary for CLP in Hong Kong market. So we know the market, we know the customer, we have the expertise in our field in the energy sectors, and we have the capability and engineer to connect to and source the right products and solution. And we have the lots of assets and also projects that we can try and test those products, whether it could solve your question, your problem or not. So beside all the solutions, we also enable you to save costs and also save the environment. This is one of the key goals that CLP want to achieve. We have a sustainability target as a group. So in every single part, we try to help our customer and ourselves to save the world, save the environment for our next generation. So yes, this is a really short presentation about Smart Energy Connect and how we see lighting beyond lighting. If there is anything you would like to ask, you are welcome to drop us a note or leave us your contact. We will contact you as soon as possible. Thanks again for joining my section.
The forum will be conducted in English. The version in Mandarin will be soon uploaded to our official fair website. 请注意，这个研讨会将以英语演讲，以普通话同声传译的版本将会在稍后上载至展会的网页。Now let's welcome our second speaker, Mr. Jack Fisher, Director of System Solutions and Product Portfolio, Osram, to deliver his presentation on dynamic lighting nowadays.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Asian Lighting Forum 2020, held by the Hong Kong International Lighting Fair. This year, the forum is online due to the challenging situation we are all facing now, and I hope you are all in safe condition, wherever you are in the world. My name is Jack Fisher, and I'm leading the system solution and the product portfolio for Traxon within Osram. I'm French. D'ailleurs, bonjour à tous mes amis français, and I'm living in Hong Kong. Despite the challenges Hong Kong is facing now, I am still here. Not only because our headquarters is located here, but because of this passion to bring, thanks to all the beautiful projects we have done around the world, to bring the happiness and comfort for people in suffering. Because dynamic lighting can bring a lot nowadays. I will not insist here on technology or biological impacts, like human-centric lighting, which is a fantastic revolution where Osram is really pioneer. But I would like to talk about the mood the lighting effect can generate. We know that the dynamic lighting and the possibility of color changing has a significant impact on human health, on well-being, on performance, on the circadian rhythm, but mostly on the mood. The color-changing effects are the best to create an atmosphere generating happiness, cheerfulness, romanticism. And our projects nowadays are also delivering hope. They are bringing you the sense of security and confidence needed these days. They help to cheer you up at the time the people need it the most. Look at these examples. What a better symbol to show the buildings we see every day illuminated for the ones who deserve it. In the UK, the Boulevard Mall in the city of Banbridge, the Meadowhall Centre in Sheffield, the Bottle Alley in the city of Hastings, all are illuminated in blue in support of the NHS the National Health Service for their amazing job during these difficult times. But also, in the USA, the city of Boston turns the skyline to blue in honor of the Boston Children's Hospital and the Shine Your Light campaign. This was a campaign created to support the hospital patients and the families also. In Las Vegas, the Eiffel Tower at the Paris Hotel features a special light show for 10 minutes every night. And this light show was to honor the local healthcare workers. The Denver City and County building was illuminated in red and blue to show support and gratitude for the first responders to the virus, and also for the essential workers who helped to combat the virus. In Asia, in China, Wuhan, where the COVID-19 started already 6 months ago, the city has celebrated the end of a 76 days lockdown with a midnight lighting show. The dazzling and dynamic show was a tribute to the people who are in the front line of the coronavirus battle. Adopting the control solution from Traxon EQ, here the city could synchronize the world's largest screen of over 300 buildings along 25 kilometers riverside. That is crazy. The landmark 81, the highest skyscraper in Southeast Asia, and now the new icon in Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam. This skyscraper puts on the Light Up the Heart thematic lighting show, sending love to all fighting the COVID-19 pandemic. But also Shanghai, Shenzhen, and the Olympic Tower in Beijing, illuminated by Traxon EQ, use lights as tribute to healthcare workers, all the people who combat the virus. So, what is the link, these effects, to the installation? How to display the right mood, the correct artistic scene at the moment you need it the most? For Traxon EQ, the dynamic lighting is always a total solution that integrates both lighting fixtures and lighting management system, hardware and software. This to offer a versatile, scalable, and sustainable lighting experience to the people. This is how Traxon EQ transforms creative ideas into unforgettable experiences. We, as a project global company, inspire customers with innovative solutions for facade, for industry, for office environment, all around the world. Look at this great example, the Gate of the East, the building and neighborhood in the city of Suzhou in China. These buildings are all linked together with our EQ control solution for one unique experience. The white lighting effects at the buildings all around and the colored illumination at the main building you can see in front, both dynamic, are all perfectly synchronized to allow a fantastic effect. Traxon had this vision and mission to create mood with light from the very beginning in the late 90s, but all suddenly accelerated in 2009 with the integration of EQ and the merge into Osram. With the worldwide network of Osram, Traxon EQ could increase the cooperation with the lighting designers, with the architects, with the lighting artists, and be with them all along the project, from the first idea to the final solution. Traxon EQ, in the same time, remains a separate entity, keeping with them all the things needed for the dynamic lighting market: extreme flexibility, high innovation, and an incredible speed to the market. Let me show you now some of the amazing buildings we help to illuminate. This is the landmark 81 building in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. Look at this beautiful skyscraper. At day, the building structure looks like a bundle of elegantly shaped bamboo, soaring into the sky and representing strength and unity. You have seen the mounting structure at the beginning of the video. More than 15 kilometers of our new Allegro tube mono were easily installed there. The best-in-class ratio, power versus small size, made it the perfect product for this incredible project. At night, to match with the building's nice exterior and its high-end positioning, the lighting effect is a mix of delicate white lines at the bottom of the building from cold to warm temperature, and all this is mixed with light points, colored light points at the top of the building. This to allow video and animation effects. This illumination is visible 10 kilometers away. That's crazy. The EQ control system is perfectly used here to create special effects for dedicated events, like the one shown in the beginning of this presentation, the yellow heart on top of the red background for the Light Up the Heart event they did in Ho Chi Minh City. They did this, I repeat, to cheer all those fighting the virus. This is now the city of Shenzhen in South China. Shenzhen is a big and dynamic city. The light show you can see here was created for the 40th anniversary of the Shenzhen Economic Zone. It is staged around the finance center in Futian district. The lighting on buildings creates a dynamic painting scroll of Shenzhen history over the past decades. The very tall building you can see in the background here is the Ping An Financial Center. This one. A mega tall skyscraper of around 600 meters, the second tallest building in China and the fourth tallest building in the world. More than 1.5 million light points were installed over 43 buildings, and here digitally connected and controlled by the SymfoCity central management software. What a beautiful illumination here. The SymfoCity software was built into a cloud platform that allows a master control room located outside the neighborhood to monitor each building. Management of the cities becomes thereby unprecedentedly easy. Now we are in India. This is the Golden Temple, located in the province of Punjab. The temple is open day and night. The people are coming here to pray, to rest, to eat, to sleep. The project was to illuminate the place here in harmony, total harmony with its architecture and spirituality. Around 6,000 LED luminaires with a huge choice of CCT, like the ones you can see here, are installed around the arches. You have lots of choice of, we had lots of choice of CCT, but also lots of choice of beam angle, of power, to ensure a complete ecological lighting environment with zero UV and zero mercury. It is really a unique place, giving a really unique atmosphere. The concept of design was to highlight these arches and the different layer of the buildings, like you can see on the screen now, and to make the installation very aesthetical. A deep work was done on the luminaire bodies but also the cables to integrate them perfectly with the buildings. No light pollution could be accepted. This project is a perfect example of how light can symbolize the sacred feeling with a special care taken to minimize the glare and the lighting levels to maintain the essence of serenity in this beautiful place. Oh, my favorite, La Beauté Française in Las Vegas. This is only the half-size replica of the original tower in Paris, still 150 meters above the Vegas Strip. To celebrate the 20th anniversary of the Paris Hotel, the tower received a makeover. Our newly proposed dots, together with washers, provide here color consistency, energy savings, and easy maintenance, which is very important for this kind of projects. Et voilà. You have seen in this presentation only a very small part of what Traxon has done these last years. But in each of these achievements, you could feel the atmosphere and the mood generated by the dynamic lighting. This, of course, is only possible by providing the best-in-class products for each desired effect. Washers, tubes, dots, but also flexible products, bendable products, customized products according to very specific requirements. And the state-of-the-art EQ control systems, whether DMX-based, DALI-based, Ethernet-based, video-based, SPI, all these effects together with the famous Sympholight software, this control portfolio turns your projects from great into fantastic. Be sure that the Traxon EQ and enthusiasm, the passion put in the projects, will lead always to amazing results. That's it. I hope I could give you some inspiration of what dynamic lighting is nowadays. I hope that these showcases I presented put you in good mood for today. During these times with the COVID-19, difficult times. Don't forget to scan the QR code and get much more inspiring videos and case studies. Thanks so much for watching. If you have questions, leave them in the comment section and I will do my best to get them answered. See you very soon again. Stay tuned, stay safe.
The forum will be conducted in English. The version in Mandarin will be soon uploaded to our official fair website. 请注意，这个研讨会将以英语演讲，以普通话同声传译的版本将会在稍后上载至展会的网页。Let us now welcome our third speaker, Mr. Alexander Nassau, Director Asia Pacific, LK Asia Limited, Hong Kong, to deliver his presentation on retail lighting, past, present, and future in retailtainment.
Okay, hello, good afternoon everyone, and good evening. I'm very happy to be here today for this special event, especially during these times. And I would like to tell you a little bit about lighting for retail, and the new trend or the future of retail will be retailtainment. Not only in my eyes, but many people believe in that. And I believe the core essence of retailtainment will be less is more, as Mies van der Rohe said, and it's like less shopping and more experience. Okay, first of all, I would basically like to thank you, not in the end of the presentation, but in the beginning, especially because of all the organizers. And I think you did an incredible job that we can still be here today and we can still record that, and we can still have these speeches and also contribute to the whole society by still gather and not just seclude and cocoon us at home. So thank you very much to all of you. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Alexander Nestle, as you know, as you see, and I'm basically an architect. I'm holding an engineering degree in architecture. I'm a trained architect, and I'm also a lighting designer and associate members of a few like Beam Society and other organizations, especially in Hong Kong. I am the director of a Swiss lighting design company based in Hong Kong as well. We are globally operating, and coming from my background as an architect, the speech here and my topic will be slightly off lighting, not only about lighting design, but also about architecture and retailtainment in total. I strongly believe that you cannot just separate different disciplines. You have to merge them together to get the best outcome for the client and also, of course, for the customer. I put some information about myself. If you're interested to look at this more in detail later on, you can see my, my very base introduction as well as my key projects I've worked on over the last years. I take the liberty to select a few special events, companies, and also brands I would like to mention here for special reasons. So, of course, first of all, my company I work for is Lichtkompetenz. And we realized a number of very well-known retail and retailtainment projects around the world. So that's why I think this is the right platform for me to talk about this topic. I've already, like more than 10 years ago, worked for Hugo Boss and helped them to develop a retail concept based on traditional influence, and not only based on the brand itself. That's why I want to mention that. So basically, when I talk about retailtainment and also the importance of the location and the interaction with different disciplines, it started already many years ago and not just like recently for me. And throughout my work, also here in Hong Kong and in Asia, I try to have this influence of retailtainment in most of my projects in the past. So that's why I would like to mention Lane Crawford, which I'm going to show you later on. I did a project like in 2012 in Chengdu, the flagship store for Lane Crawford, where we already started to implement some entertainment factor in the retail. One of the maybe most well-known projects here in Hong Kong is the Joyce flagship store in Central, which is actually one of the most prominent stores here. And Joyce as a brand and also as a retailer is always very avant-gardist in terms of like new trends and also like setting new standards. The last project I would like to talk to you, and which is important for me because we just finalized it this year, is the new Tea Galleria in Canton Road. And I think this project includes all the previous work I've personally done and also like the other companies have done before, like Hugo Boss, Lane Crawford, Joyce, and now in Tea Galleria. But why do I tell you this? So basically for me, I strongly believe, especially in our times nowadays where everybody is a little bit cautious and people tend to stay at home, don't want to go out, retailtainment is a very strong, tool for us to basically get people in the stores and to also convince people to go shopping, because we can control the environment way, way better than just only outside on the street. And I think we should learn from the past and we should go back to the roots when we talk about retailtainment and retail. So that's why I would like to talk to you, as I mentioned before, since I'm an architect, about the history of retail architecture a little bit. So where are we coming from actually? What is retail? Then the past, the modern era, and the importance of lighting and the location as well as the presence, of course. So focus on lighting, location, and interaction. And then the future. So how will the future of retail and lighting be, and what can we do in order to strengthen that and to make it better and also nowadays more livable for the customers. Okay, let me start with basically the history of retail. So basically retail started in ancient times already for the retail markets as open air markets. And what I would specifically point out that these markets were basically places in town where people gathered and where people exchanged news and mostly bought local products. You had a very strong local influence. And what's very important for me from a lighting design point of view, that it was during the daytime under the sunlight. So the best light you can ever have was used to basically display all your goods. And the old marketplaces were not only a place where you bought and where you sold things, but where you also gathered and where you exchanged news. So with the development of those markets, and the markets grew bigger and the world started to become a little closer already, larger centralized markets in town were actually built and launched. So basically one of the most famous one is for sure the Grand Bazaar in Istanbul, which is a massive development. We could almost say like a shopping mall. But as you can see on the right-hand side picture, there is still lots of daylight and natural light in that covered area. So people learned from that over the years, not only 5 or 10 years, we're talking hundreds of years. And the next step leads us to the covered shopping arcades. So the very famous ones we know from Italy, like the Galleria Emanuele, for example, what you see on the right-hand side, or one of the first one that we know as a shopping arcade was in Paris. So still, what was very important back then for retail and for and also for the design and the feel was the daylight. As you can see, most of them, and especially those arcades, they play a lot with daylight, and they have lots and lots of daylight. Moving on to the past is for me like the modern era, and that means like we developed that level of retail to department stores. That means we moved away from those outdoor or covered areas, covered spaces, and we were more like turned to the inside. So department store is a permanently reshaped our habits of shopping, because you basically force people to go into one building and to keep and to stay in this building. And you knew once you keep your client in that building, you can generate more and more turnover, but you are losing the daylight. You're losing the atmosphere of the marketplace where people gather and people exchange before news and where people were basically entertained. The very first changes came to and after second or post-World War II with the new concept of a shopping mall, basically. When you developed like massive and huge malls where you had like department stores in there, or department stores basically anchored those shopping centers. You had like everything mixed and combined in one huge complex. This complex was usually so big with lots of parking spaces and everything originally invented in the US that there was no room for socializing. People would go there, would buy their goods, would leave as soon as possible and go home. There was no certain quality of life. You wouldn't want to spend your entire day there unless it was for shopping. So I believe, to be honest, in the past, from the public markets and the covered bazaars where people spent their time and gathered and outside on the street, enjoyed the sunlight, the daylight, got the news, bought their local goods, to the shopping arcades, which are very close to the original market, just a little bit more protected, to the department stores and shopping malls. We kind of lost on that way our initial idea of shopping and of retail and the marketplace. So the question is, how does the present look like? And did we take any of those developments into consideration? And I'm very happy and glad to say that I personally feel like retail and shopping has changed. So the importance of lighting is bigger and bigger these days than it was before. Good lighting was always essential for retail, and retail as the fast-moving industry in terms of trends, in terms of design, was always very open for that. So let me quickly tell you what happened. So I think the 21st century put a little bit more stress on this large retail stores, and only successful concepts with a little bit experience and also like added entertainment could or will survive in the future. And malls are currently in severe decline. So many big malls struggle a lot to basically fill their hallways with people, because people are looking for more than just spending money, especially in days like this where money is a very rare good. So you want to make sure your customer is happy, and you entertain your customer in a way that he enjoys going to that place, and he wants to go to that specific place and no other place. At the end of the day, the goods you can buy or you are selling can be bought and sold in any other store as well. So for me, I feel like the present should show us what's next, basically. So after we finished this development, a huge, massive impact of a shopping mall, we needed to develop it any further. So retail concept stores should not only reflect the brand identity and by applying corporate architecture. I think it should be way more than that. It should be a holistic retail design that should also take into consideration the local influence and tradition. You want to make sure that the customer feels he's in a store in Beijing, or he's in a store in Hong Kong, or maybe in Bangkok, or in Moscow, or in Paris, no matter where. But I think one of the key elements is that we still have those local influence in the store, what traditional markets had very, very much before. Then again, dynamic lighting, because this is about lighting. So let me take you back quickly to the markets, and imagine those old markets on the streets in the morning or maybe in the evening. You know, and you can feel, you can very well imagine that the light was different in the morning when you went there to buy your fruits and your groceries, or maybe when you went there again after lunch, or maybe in the early evening. So the light, the intensity of light, the color of light has changed, and the goods are also changing. So the appearance of the goods are different in the morning and in the evening. Of course, we do not want that necessarily all the time, but that's just the natural way things are. So we should consider more dynamic lighting, and with the dynamic lighting, more interactive lighting, and that's what we've done in the past. So we have different color temperatures, we have different intensities of lighting in different areas. I would like to show you some examples later on where we've actually implemented that, and I think it worked quite well. So I think with all those things taken into consideration, the era of retailtainment has begun already. We just didn't translate it properly yet, or maybe we were not in the need of developing to a level where we basically need to put more effort in that and develop this holistic concept with interior designer and lighting designer as one big design intent. I think like already like, let's say 20 years ago, we may all know this building from Zana, from Dior in Tokyo. So this building is quite famous. It's 20 years ago. It's definitely a landmark. But I don't know if you know that, but it was basically derived from a very traditional design element from Japan. It was like the very simple light fixture. So once I show you those pictures, you can see the resemblance between the actual building and the role model, or basically your example, what you tried to achieve. And I think this is what I mean when I talk about local context and tradition as well. The building is very strong, it plays with light, it has a very strong presence in the evening and during the night as well if you keep the lights on, but yet at the same time you can relate to it. You have the local relation with like the historic background. The next one is like a project I've worked on 2012 to 2014. It's in Chengdu in IFC. It was the Lane Crawford flagship store. The biggest, or the first big flagship store in China. Lane Crawford had some in Beijing and Shanghai as well. But same thing, what we wanted to achieve there is different atmospheres. When you look at the right side picture, for example, you can see it's a very cozy, moody, inviting atmosphere. It looks like a hotel, it looks like a lounge, and basically the idea is that that's the VIP lounge for people to stay longer, to basically relax, to enjoy their shopping. So we already started to create that like years ago. And looking back, it started like 20, 25 years ago. And when I show you the next pictures on the next slide, you will see that there is a difference in terms of like appearance. It's the same store, it's the same year of construction and design, but this is like for fast fashion or for fashion, and it's for beauty. And you can see here the color of the light is completely different compared to the same store VIP room. And we already started to create different scenes, different atmospheres here for the customer, maybe for a different customer group as well. And when you look at the right-hand side picture, you can see the LED screen, and you can still see that it's many, many small LED screens actually added together to a big one. And we used a trick by putting a mirrored ceiling there, so to basically enlarge this LED screen, because back then LED was quite pricey on the market and also power consuming. So back then we tried to make it bigger and to use this this dynamic factor by still taking into consideration which year we were in and what technology we had back then. So basically moving on, that's the Joyce flagship store I just mentioned before. And Joyce was Hong Kong's most forward-thinking retailer. That's what basically the industry about retail thinks about Joyce. So Joyce had a very clear idea when they renovated the store. They basically wanted to also create a place for art and for people together and for exhibition as well, not only for selling goods. Prime location, Hong Kong, just on Queen's Road. And when you pass by the window display of Joyce, you actually see or feel like you're almost passing by a gallery. It's constantly changing, like all the exhibitions are constantly changing. So that means the lighting has to change and has to adopt it as well, and not only the exhibition itself. But I think we did a fairly good job there, and the Joyce flagship store is still one of the most prominent stores in Hong Kong when it comes to retail. And I'll show you this picture here. It was the store we designed together with Paolo Navone. So Paolo Navone was the lead architect or interior designer. And basically, when you look at that picture on the left-hand side, it doesn't look like a retail store. It could be an art exhibition. And that was the idea. And I think this was one of the very first examples in Hong Kong for retailtainment. And I'm not even talking about dynamic lighting, interactive lighting. When you look at the picture, it's a very, very static light. But at the same time, it allows the flexibility for different events. And that's where the retailtainment factor, the entertainment factor, comes into retail. When you look at this picture, maybe many of you would say, oh, I don't like the scallops on the wall, because it's not flat, the wall is not washed properly. So basically, it was specifically desired by the interior designer to make it more playful and more cheerful. And when you look at this picture, you can see the different areas of the retail store. You see it's more cozy, it's cooler, and it's a little bit more inviting. Moving on, you can also see it functions for many different events, like here on the left-hand side, very famous designer, Dries van Noten, and they really like those lighting elements there. The beauty area, same store, looks completely different, and that's entertainment for the customer, for the client, walking through, experience different areas. The latest project, what I mentioned before, is the Tea Galleria on Canton Road with my current company, Lichtkompetenz. And we just finished it a few weeks ago, a few months ago, and I would also like to thank DFS for that opportunity to share those brand new pictures with me to basically show you as well what's going on. As you can see, we used way more LED screens in there, and we basically try to create those artificial rooms where you can't really feel where you basically, where the room starts and where the room ends. So it's about illusions as well. LED screens on the entire ceiling is a huge development to the store before I showed you Lane Crawford and Chengdu 8 years ago. And you basically try to create this illusion, especially on these pictures here where you see the escalator going up with like the LED ceiling here. And then on this picture, you can see the mirrored walls and you can see the Hong Kong boat there, the Aqua Luna junk. So this is basically, now you see everything comes together. It's like dynamic lighting, it's interior design, and it's also the local context and entertainment. So basically, we move from dynamic 2014 in my examples to retail and entertainment in 2018, and now 2020 we are almost there when it comes to retailtainment. But how does the future look like? So what's next? Definitely less is more, less shopping, more experience. That doesn't mean we are not generating more turnover. But how can lighting design enhance and strengthen the next era of retail? Lighting and interior must merge into a holistic discipline, and also the design process. That means a flawless retailtainment experience for the customer. That's what we want. We want an immersive experience. We want the local influence, tradition and entertainment. We want dynamic and interactive lighting. We want well-being factor and personalization, especially now in those times where you can control people, how many people are in one room, where do you guide them. You want also the climate responsibility, and of course what you want high quality lighting, almost like sun-like technology. So basically immersive experience you can create with different, like what I mentioned before, tools. And for me, I don't talk about about products, because for me those products are basically only tools. For me it's more about the history, for me it's more about the design intent. So basically, you can see there is lots of tools you can use to attract people, to entertain people. I don't want to go too much into detail. You can use the local context here as well, and you can have the entertainment factor. So what I wanted to show you here, if you put all of this together, even here what we did like in Munich for a very well-known coffee company, it's daytime, nighttime, only by color changing you create different atmospheres. You can guide people, you can make sure they feel well, you can personalize areas for people as well. And then of course the human-centric lighting, where you can back to the market like hundreds of years ago, have a different atmosphere in the morning than the evening. And there is a product on the market which is called sun lighting. So basically we almost mimic the sunlight effect by a very, very high CRI. It's a fairly new product, and you almost go up to a CRI 98 in order to basically achieve this perfect illumination. There is an example already, it's just opened, it's the Uniqlo Park in Japan. It's the first retailtainment venue, and so basically that shows me that the industry is ready for it. Okay, when we talk about retailtainment, I want to quickly have a short summary for you, from the public markets to the shopping arcades to the department stores and the malls, and then we move on to dynamic lighting, to retail and entertainment, and further on to dynamic lighting and entertainment as well with the local context. So I think if we take all of this into consideration, and the conclusion would be, in order to get from the local market where retail started hundreds of years ago to our now retail landscape, we have to consider a few things. It has to be, like basically the design has to be designed for humans, for us, what our needs are. And we need to create an environment where people gather, safely gather, especially nowadays, where you can control how many people are by making areas brighter and darker. You need the inspiration from the local markets, also from the local surrounding. You need high quality lighting in order to basically have the same experience what you have on a traditional market, together of course with human-centric lighting, interactive lighting, dynamic lighting. So you can't only pick one. I think this has to be a whole thing together. And of course the personalization and the well-being is very, very important in our days where we have to battle with different diseases and viruses. So that's why you can increase the traffic, and of course you can also increase the turnover by offering a holistic design concept for your next retailtainment store, including lighting and also including the proper interior design. And only if we work hand in hand, it doesn't matter what product we use at the end of the day, as long as we know what we have to use in order to achieve that, I think that will be the next step for me. And I would like to thank you for your time and this opportunity. I hope you enjoyed it a little bit as well. I put my contact information here in case you would like to contact me personally or my company in case you've got any questions. Please feel free to do so. Thank you very much.
The forum will be conducted in English. The version in Mandarin will be soon uploaded to our official fair website. 请注意，这个研讨会将以英语演讲，以普通话统胜传译的版本将会在稍后上载至展会的网页。Let us welcome our fourth speaker, Mr. Tin Zhang, CMO and co-founder, IoTenor Technology Limited, to deliver his presentation on Make the Circadian Lighting System More Humanized by Modern IoT Technology.
Okay, good afternoon to everyone. My name is Tim Chen, and I'm the Chief Marketing Officer of IoTenor Technology. IoTenor is an IoT technology company focusing on how to improve human health. Today, we will be discussing some ideas about circadian lighting and how to make the circadian lighting better for human health. Hope that all of you will enjoy the following topics with me. There are 5 topics to be discussed on today. At the beginning, we will discuss the difference between natural light and LED lighting. And then we will try to understand the general concept of human circadian rhythm. After that, we will think about how we can improve the current LED lighting features and products. And then we will consider some other applications at system level. At last, we will review what are the possible benefits we can have if we get all the right things done. So what's the difference between natural light and LED lighting? As we all know, the natural sunlight that reaches Earth sea level is actually always changing from time to time. We can find that the color temperature is changing, the brightness is changing, and we even have the moon and stars to reflect some sunlight during the nighttime. If we look into the details, we can find that the sunlight is delivering a continuous visible spectrum to Earth from 380 nanometers to 740 nanometers. And most of the wavelength is relatively high compared to other artificial lighting. We have to remember this important phenomenon because this is the phenomenon that makes sunlight so unique and special. After the sunlight, let's take a look at the LED lighting. As we may know, all the visible LEDs are made by just a few elements from group 3 and group 5 in the periodic table. By these elements, a so-called 3-5 compound semiconductor is made. Just to mention that the gray circle indicates out the elements of substrate material of LED chips. Then, by the different combination between these elements, we can produce some different single colors LEDs and white colors LEDs in different color temperatures with certain phosphor coating and added. But please look at this diagram, and we can find that the visible spectrum of single color LEDs is actually very limited. the free 5-compound semiconductors can only generate a few colors, but not the continuous spectrum. You can see very clearly in this spectrum diagram. And then if we look at this comparison between LED lights and natural sunlight, we can clearly see the difference between two of them. The LED colors are limited, not continuous, especially for the white colored LED. You can see the spectrum is very different from the sunlight spectrum. And we can imagine that there must be some important wavelengths that people needed are missing from here. After talking about the difference between natural light and LED lighting, now let's talk about some concepts of human circadian rhythm. Actually, the circadian rhythm topic has been studied for a long time before these three gentlemen got the Nobel Prize in 2017. Actually, the first observation of a circadian phenomenon was recorded in year 1729 by a French scientist. He noted a 24 hours pattern movement in a plant, and from there on, a lot of researches of biological clock and circadian rhythm has been done till now. And the research topics are more and more popular in these days after the 2017 Nobel Prize. And these pictures is showing us pretty much the physiology mechanism of human circadian rhythm. The light goes into our eyes and then reaches the SCN in our brain, and then the signal goes to the pineal gland through our nervous system. From our pineal gland plus all other parts of our brain, the entire endocrine system is under control properly. And we can see that this entire human circadian rhythm system is related to daytime and nighttime shifting. If we look into more details from this NIH research chart, we can see there are different time schedules of different hormones based on 24 hours routine. It is more clear if we make it into a clock circle like this. You can see that some hormones is secreting in the nighttime and some are activating in the daytime. Because all these different time schedules of our natural circadian rhythm, our action and performance is highly related to the day and night 24 hours routine. And that's also why we have heard a lot from the doctors, from the experts to tell us that we need to sleep and eat at a fixed proper time to keep ourselves healthy. But we all know that even we want to maintain this timetable, it is very difficult because most of us are spending our 90% of our time indoor, but not outdoor. So since we are staying most of our time in the indoor environment, the lighting, indoor lighting becomes very important. And nowadays we are dealing with LED lighting, but not a natural sunlight. So how to make the LED lighting more natural becomes a very important topic. From a Nature research paper, we can see that the sunlight is actually changing a lot from time to time. The spectrum of visible wavelength is not the same at all. We can see the portions of different light colors are also quite difference either. And then different spectrum combination shows different white color temperature to us. In this diagram, we can see that the sunlight color temperature is changing a lot from time to time. All these changes actually are affecting our eyes development, our body development, and our circadian rhythm back to very, very old area. And people are still working outside under the sun, under the daytime at that era. But now the things changed. We are now mainly work inside in the indoor environments, but not outside under the sun. And the indoor environment is basically using LED lighting. And here we can see the difference between natural lights and LED lighting. No matter what kind of phosphor and blue chips we are using for LED lighting, the color temperature is still narrow and fixed. Even we talk about some LED lighting features with color temperature changing function, most of them are just mixing a very warm color temperature and a very cold color temperature into one lighting features. And then people can adjust, can tune the brightness ratio between these two colors. But we all know that this kind of approach is still far away from the natural sunlight. Let's go back to the comparison chart. We can see that the spectrum of cool white and warm white are like this. And it is very clear that no matter how we tune the dimmable level between these two spectrums, the spectrum is still far away from the natural sunlight. But think about that. What if we add a few important wavelengths into our lighting fixtures, especially when these wavelengths are important to our human circadian rhythm? By controlling the dimming ratio of these colors, we can then adjust people's circadian rhythm in a better way. Furthermore, it will be even better if we can add more different colors, especially those colors which are important to human health and visual comfort. By this arrangement, we can make the indoor LED lighting closer to the natural sunlight. Plus the control system, we can also adjust the brightness level of each different color that to simulate the natural sunlight. And this is the best way to make our general lighting, LED lighting fixtures, which is getting close to the natural sunlight. Besides the possible improvements of LED lighting fixtures, let's consider a better solutions at the whole system level, which is also very important. As we mentioned on the last section, a color temperature adjusting function is very basic. And then we should also try to add some more useful wavelengths into the lighting fixtures. And after that, the usage of modern IoT and AI technology could be considered. By the new technology, the system can do a lot of things, such as we can do personalization setting, auto detection, remote control, smart self-calibration, and adjustment. Also, we can record the daily activity timeline and do many other different controls and settings. By all these functions, the circadian lighting system becomes not only a lighting system, but also a health improvement system. Let's look at some possible applications on the following pages. By these modern technologies, we can definitely control the lighting color and brightness change by the time schedule, just like the sunrise to sunset. And with this setting, the general LED lighting features can be simulated, can be close to the natural sunlight. Furthermore, as we all know that human eyes actually are changing from age to age. In different age, our eyes are more sensitive to different wavelengths and our eyes need different brightness. So if we can have a system to adjust the lighting spectrum and intensity of different age, this could help a lot to people's health and visual comfort, especially to children and elder people. Another topic is that people are having different eyeball colors. Same as the age issue, different eyeball colors are also sensitive to different wavelengths and brightness. So to adjust lighting spectrum and brightness for different eyeball colors is also very good for people. Besides, we have to do many different activities on our daily life, such as eating, sleeping, working, doing exercise, relaxing, watching TV, studying, doing homework, and many, many others. For different activities, actually, we do need different lighting spectrum to enhance the efficiency and performance for that certain activity. Moreover, a good circadian lighting system can also help us to adjust jet lag. There are actually more applications that we can think about, we can improve. And it was very hard to handle these complicated applications in the before. But nowadays, with the modern technology such as IoT technology and AI and big data, we can improve the lighting system much more easy than before. So this is a good timing for us to work on a strong and comprehensive circadian lighting system. Now, let's take a look of what kind of benefits we can have if we do have a successful circadian lighting system. For classrooms, from the kindergarten to the elementary school, even to universities, students can avoid near eyesight, getting higher scores, and of course, keep their endocrine system balanced since they are staying in the classroom for such a long time. And for the offices, staff can avoid too much pressure, enhance their working performance, and employee loyalty could be raised when the company is providing a nice and advanced working environment. And for the hotels, a good circadian lighting system can help with the sleeplessness problem, also adjusting the jet lag of hotel guests. And at the end, the customer loyalty could be enhanced for sure. Besides, the lighting system is definitely helpful on getting some more scores when the hotel wants to do the green building certificate. For hospitals and elderly care centers, the system could help on reducing the depression and enhancing the recovery speed, because of the patients will feel more comfortable under a suitable lighting environment. In the same time, the reputation of this facility is built. For the shopping malls, a good lighting system can help on sales increasing. Reputation and value are also added on the facility. Customers are happy and willing to go more often. And in the same time, the green building standard could be achieved by the system. For factories, a good lighting system can help to avoid work injury and enhance the productivity. Employees' loyalty can also be enhanced. On all these slices, we can see that a good circadian lighting system is very helpful for almost all kinds of facilities. So that is very important for us to think about how to build up a really comprehensive and effective circadian lighting system at this moment, at this timing. At last, I would like to share one more idea. We can think one step further, since that the lighting is not the only factor which is affecting people's health. What we can do more? We can also think about the air quality, thermal comfort, and water quality at this moment. These are another very important factors for people's health. So that IoT technology is now building up a system called InHealth. With InHealth system, hopefully we can help people to improve their daily health in the very near future. At last, please feel free to contact us if there is anything you want to discuss more. My talk is ended here. Thank you very much for your time and goodbye.
This is the end of the Asian Lighting Forum. If you'd like to have a playback, it will be available on our Click-to-Match platform. The Click-to-Match platform allows the exploration on cross-industry business opportunities. Act now and visit ssw.hktdc.com. Please also take a minute to fill in the questionnaire and share with us your comment. If you have any further inquiries, please send us an email at exhibitions@hktdc.org.